project, even if you're working on your own. So the ability, for instance, to manage one's timetable as an undergraduate is a skill which will be of relevance to any student for the rest of their life. Globalization, already been touched on a number of times, and that's my final point. I started by saying that legal education by its nature was country specific. That is true. But the reality is there's no such thing today as an international law firm, because every law firm potentially will deal with international questions. Every lawyer, whatever their field of practice, will deal from time to time with international questions. How do we expose our students to this knowledge? How do we ensure that they have the ability to deal with international context? Well, of course, one way is to encourage them to go overseas, to encourage them to complete part of their degree overseas. Well, of course, in the case of HELP, many of your students spend a year with us. Excellent way of exposing you to the overseas environment. But even for those who are completing their degree in the one university, it is vital that they have some understanding of the international context, at least in our school, because it offers a qualifying law degree in the UK context. It is necessary to study international law, or at least European law. We do international law and European law. Without a knowledge of the international environment, you're not actually going to make a competent lawyer. That fundamentally is the situation. I'd like to finish very briefly by putting together, I suppose, my comments into a brief description of where I think we are with legal education today. Nothing really fundamentally has changed, because the purpose of legal education is to give basic legal knowledge and to instill certain skills in the graduate. We've almost gone full circle, though, because in the common law system, those of you who are familiar with the system, several hundred years ago, you didn't go to university. You weren't formally taught law at all. You picked it up on the job. And until comparatively recently, it was possible to be admitted as a solicitor in England and Wales without going to university. That's not the case today, of course, and I don't think it would be a good thing to go back to that system. But we are emphasising more the fact that it's the hands-on skills as well as the hard knowledge which are fundamentally important to a law graduate. My last point being this. Across the UK, and I don't think we're any different to, for instance, New Zealand and many other countries, probably no more than half of the law graduates will actually ever practice as a lawyer. They go into a whole range of other jobs, which makes it ever more important that we must emphasise that when you get a legal qualification, what you're getting is not just the legal knowledge, but also a range of skills, such as will be exhibited by a properly trained lawyer that will be usable in any field. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Noel. Due to time constraint, maybe we could just take one question. Do we have a question for Professor Noel? No?
No questions? Good.
Okay, we have one question in front. Can someone pass the mic over?
Thank you very much for the very interesting opinion about the legal studies sections. You made two important points. One is the combination of law and business or accounting degrees, and the other one is internationalization. Now, I know it is possible for us to combine law and commerce or law and business degrees. One of the difficult things of internationalizing your legal studies programs is the different laws being adopted by different countries.